Come on and slam. And welcome to the jam. Come on and slam. And you want a jam. It's not the same without the
It's still good though.
It's great. It's amazing.
It's
amazing.
It's a fantastic song and it's a great opener.
It's amazing. It's great. You're amazing. This is amazing. Welcome to the future.
Welcome to the future. We made some effing changes. It's 2025.
That's right. Sped them up.
My first email that I sent for work, I put 24. It's like, but I only did it once. But they still did it. It's like, damn it. Welcome to 2025.
Welcome.
What up, peeps?
Happy New Year.
Happy new beer.
Yes. Happy New Beer. Welcome to the MOJO Show. I'm Mo.
And I'm Joe.
And this is the MOJO Show.
And it's the MOJO Show. Listen,
Welcome.
We got a whole thing that we're gonna do with the intro, but this is the first setup. So we just trying to get comfortable.
Feeling things out. If you like what you see, like, comment, share, subscribe.
That's it. And if you hate it,
Still
do it anyway. Do it anyway.
Share, hate watch. I don't care.
Hate watch. I don't care.
For a long time listener to the show, you know that we do a beer of the week. We've been doing a non-alcoholic beer of the week for quite a while now. I think this entire football season, actually.
They keep coming out with more, and we keep trying them.
So we got a new one here. It's the Sam Adams Golden. Clean, crisp, and refreshing.
I'm not going to lie. They got me with the whole color scheme. This is a nice looking can.
It is nice. It is nice.
Oh, yeah.
You do a better job than I do.
Let's get a cheers on that.
Cheers.
We're further away now.
I know. All right. I like it. I like the initial taste. Not loving the after. But it's okay.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I will say it is good. I love the can design. Love the color scheme.
Yeah.
For a non-alcoholic beer, 98 calories.
I was looking for the calories. I couldn't. They hide them, don't they? I couldn't find them.
It's a little hefty.
That's
for
up there. That's
an
up there.
NA.
It's no athletic light at 25 calories.
I like it. I really do.
It might have been sitting for a while because I realized after I bought it the Best Buy due date or whatever the hell date is March. So we're getting in right on time.
No, it's good. It's classic golden crisp and refreshing with a full body yet. So it gets, once you start reading descriptions, it's like wine. I have no idea what this means. But another NA, I enjoyed this one. I just think that calorie wise, 98 is a little heavy for a non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah, especially when some of the IPAs we're doing were like 60, 70.
Yeah, most of them. Some athletics is like the 25, there's 45, there's 60, 65. 98 is a little bit
It's pushing it
extra, but it's pretty good. So give it a shot.
Yeah.
Beer of the week.
I was gonna say something.
I feel like that was really low.
It was really low.
I turned it down for a reason.
Oh, okay.
I meant to turn it back up.
Oh, okay.
I did not.
I got you.
That is 100% my fault, sir. I feel like this has been a long time.
It has been.
Right?
Because we recorded on Monday last time.
I know.
There's no Thursday in it. Yeah.
I've been like anxious to re-record.
I know. I think last Thursday you texted me. I didn't know what to do with yourself. And I was the same thing. I was like, me either.
Honestly, even yesterday, I was like, I'm bored. I should have asked Maurice to come over tonight because I'm so bored.
I should have come last Thursday, but I was already in my comfies.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. We were going to record, right?
Yeah. No.
What day was it? What day were we talking about it? And you were like, oh, I have to take the trash out.
I did have to. It was last Thursday because of holiday.
Oh.
The trash is delayed. And I was already in my comfies.
Stupid.
But I was just sitting there watching. I was watching the game. I must have been watching the game or whatever was on.
There was not a game on.
It was
Thursday.
Was it college? I don't know.
Oh, it was probably college.
I was watching something.
Okay.
We do have college on right now. Semifinals. Notre Dame versus Penn State.
Yeah, we are streaming this one.
Yep.
Still logged into your YouTube TV.
There we go. Fun fact: my aunt taught at Notre Dame.
Oh.
Yeah. So I went to
the one who's a nun.
Yeah.
Oh,
makes sense.
It does. It totally does.
I went to a game there many years ago. Many years ago. It was fun. Touchdown Jesus.
Nice.
Big mural.
I like it.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Shout out Notre Dame. I used to watch them a lot because they were always on. It was the same thing with like the Braves. How the Braves were on TBS. Notre Dame was always on NBC.
Right.
So before they had 1,000,001 channels, SEC Network and all that, that was the only game you could really watch.
Right.
Yeah.
Notre Dame.
Yep.
Just do me a favor. Just watch that arm.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. So just get out of the way early.
It's a bad habit.
It's okay. I know it's a little bit scrunched because we turned the table.
You know, it's
how the turntables.
That comedian Nate
Bargatze.
Yeah, I watched his new special on Christmas Eve.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good.
Nice.
And he joked about how he when he walks around, he holds his arm like this, and he gets shoulder pain now for it, and he can't help it. And I watched one of his old stand-ups, and he did the same thing.
Really?
Yes, he's been doing it for years. So yeah.
It's a weird quirk.
Yep. Just like me laying my arm down.
Fair
I want
enough.
everyone to see the follicles in my arm. Follicles.
All right, week 18 of the NFL. We officially wrapped up the season. We had games just on Saturday. We had 2 games on Saturday and then the rest on Sunday. These games seem like they were 25 years ago.
And only I think 3 of them mattered playoff-wise.
It was a weird week to pick because a lot of players got benched and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I overall, my record this week was over 500, but it wasn't fantastic.
Yeah, same.
The first game was the Baltimore Ravens over the Cleveland Browns 35-10. Lamar had 16-32, 217, 2 touchdowns. I didn't really catch any of this game, but I think the spread went up from 8. It was 16 to 18 to 20. And I was like, that's a big spread, and they covered.
I think I took it jokingly as a 19.5. I was like, I'll do that. This shows I'm a bad gambler.
A couple late touchdowns saved you on that one.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't really have much to say, honestly. I feel like as soon as the Browns played DNR, it was like they were throwing in the towel. Winston would give them a fighting chance. I was just mad because after they won this game, they became the number 1 pick.
Correct.
Or, I'm sorry, lost this game, excuse me.
Yes.
And I think I said to you, it's not fair for them to be the number 1 pick again for the 3rd time in 10 years or something.
Yeah.
'Cause Baker was number 1. What's his name? The defensive lineman.
Miles Garrett.
Yeah, he was 1 overall, right?
I believe
Yeah,
it might have been. Yeah.
So they had it's just too many. It's too many.
But when did they draft Colt McCoy? Wasn't he a top?
I think he was a first. He might have been first rounder.
First round,
I
but
don't think he was
not one overall.
No.
But they've had their fair share of
Yeah.
high draft
Yeah.
picks that they continue to botch.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So now, as of right now, they have it for sure, the number 2 pick. Titans have the number 1 pick overall.
Yes, unfortunately.
We'll get into it. The other game, I did catch some of this game. Now I was trying to remember what I was doing on Saturday, why I didn't watch this game. I watched the first half of the Bengals and Steelers game. Bengals pulled it out 19-17. It was kind of an ugly game from what I saw in the first half.
Yep.
Bengals needed to win this game to keep their playoff hopes alive. Obviously, it didn't matter because they also needed the Dolphins to lose, but also the Broncos to lose, and the Broncos played Carson Wentz.
Yes, they did.
So the Bengals don't get in the playoffs at 9-8. I don't feel bad. I really don't. I was talking to my father about this yesterday, and I guess somebody was making comments about how, I don't know if it was like the Bengals issued a complaint. Somebody issued a complaint about the fact that the Chiefs benched all their guys.
Oh, right.
Don't start off the season 0-3.
Shouldn't have lost to the Patriots.
And Washington. Well,
Right.
yes, but yes, I had a 4-13 team. But it's like every year they start off slow. And this is the year that bit them in the ass.
Yeah, I think we called it out a few times early on that, you can only start slow so many times. So, sorry, dudes. I mean, if I were them, I would blame Jamar Chase's holdout because he started slow. He started the season slow, and it's literally all his fault.
And I mean, their defense has not played well all season.
Yep.
Burrow had a great season in the second half of the year, but overall, I mean, you start off 0-3.
Yeah, what do you expect? The numbers aren't great.
They're not great. What do you think about Taylor? You think they fire him or they keep him? As of now, he's still the coach.
If he's there now, he's not going anywhere. Yeah.
He's already survived Black Monday.
And then how far did Pierce make it? Tuesday or Wednesday?
I don't know, but then they just fired the GM today.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they were like. Oh, the GM's safe.
Tom Brady's clearing house.
But
I did.
Then he wait 2 days and they fire the GM. Why don't you just do it the same day?
I saw a report from Tom Pelissero. Is that his name?
Yeah.
I heard about a report that there are teams out there asking if Bill Belichick would be willing to reconsider his choice, including the Raiders, who Tom Brady talked to Bill Belichick recently. But they could talk about anything. They're still on friendly terms. So maybe, I don't know, maybe. It wouldn't be the first time a coach got hired somewhere and left. Bill O'Brien literally did it last year when the Boston College job came open, he left where he was going to go after the Patriots and went there.
That's true. I guess there's still that shot, right?
Yeah,
that
sure.
it could happen.
Yeah, he'd probably have to pay a lot of money, like a buyout or whatever. Yeah, exactly. He's gonna he's fine.
I wonder if he does that, say he turns his back on the whole deal with UNC, does his nipple baby son still get the job? Or no?
Probably not. My guess is he would just go with him to, I almost said Oakland, to the Raiders.
Yeah. That'd be interesting, though. I think anywhere in the AFC that Belichick could potentially go is so weird to me.
Yeah. We had training camp out there one year, a couple of years. I think when Josh was there, and when he came back, Bill Belichick was raving about like their facilities and everything. He said it was the mecca of the National Football League because it's all
in Vegas.
It's all brand new. It's probably all indoors too because it's in the desert.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe
the future's not super bright over there. It's going to take a while to rebuild that team.
Tom Pelissero is not Adam Schefter or Rappaport, so take it with a grain of salt.
I did hear something that Belichick would not be interested in going to the pros. But
oh, really? Okay.
Oh no, it's all hearsay. It's all rumors at this point.
Exactly. It's silly season or almost silly season. But I heard that report on a podcast that dropped Wednesday. So yeah, it's been one day. So yeah, exactly. Back and forth. Blah 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 blah.
Gotcha.
Big news out of this game. Well, not big news, but the Steelers backed their way into the playoffs. What'd they lose to end the season? Like
4 in a row.
Yeah. Damn.
That is what it is. 10-7. So they were 10-3 at one point.
That's bad though. 4 in a row.
It's not great. I wouldn't want to enter the postseason like that.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 out of the 4 teams that they lost to are playoff teams. Mm-hmm. The Bengals could have been another one, but it was an ugly game all around. From what I saw, it wasn't fantastic.
Yeah. Cool. Bums.
Sorry, taking a sip of this refreshing Samuel Adams Golden. Moving on to the Sunday game, the Carolina Panthers over the Atlanta Falcons, 44-38. Falcons needed this game. They also needed Tampa to lose, so it didn't matter anyway to keep their playoff hopes alive. Michael Penix, 21 of 38, 312, 2 touchdowns. And Bijan, 28 carries, 172 touchdowns. I mean, listen, at 5-12, Carolina is one of the worst teams in the league. However, their second half was very competitive.
I would kill to score 40 points in a football game. I don't think the Patriots have scored 30 points in 3 years.
It's been a long streak. I saw a stat not long ago. Their streak is pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean we had a few 20-pointers, which was
those are fun.
It's fun. Swell.
I mean the Raiders scored 20.
They did. I saw they probably. I think they hit 20 again this last week. But yeah, second half of the season, you look at their record and like close losses, and yeah, I'd be feeling pretty good, pretty good about that. Like that is what I was hoping out of the Patriots.
Yeah,
sure, finish 4-13, 5-12.
Yep.
But you see that improvement or momentum going into the offseason.
In a weird way, benching Bryce might have helped. I mean, I think he only went back in because Andy Dalton had a car accident or something and he couldn't play, so they put Bryce back in. I just, for that fan base, because I know the new owner is kind of like Snyder-esque, maybe not as bad.
He might, I think Snyder relinquished the baton to him as the worst owner. That dude's weird.
And that's why it's nice to see them be competitive because when you have a shit owner, it's like they were looking. I mean, last season was really bad, and then the beginning of this season was really bad too.
Yeah,
but at least they're competitive.
And like I didn't blame them for benching him. He was not playing well.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't at all. Moving on to my game.
But if you're into fantasy, Robinson, probably a top 5 pick next year.
Oh yeah, that's right. I got fantasy notes too.
Yeah. Oh, nice. I just want to throw that.
My Washington Redskins 23-19 over the Dallas Cowgirls. It wasn't looking good. It wasn't looking good for us. Did you watch this game? No, it wasn't on the local. Marcus Mariota had to come in the second half. Wasn't a huge deal, but they said Jaden had leg soreness. He didn't want to risk it. Washington came out to win this game because they wanted the 6th seed. Now, with Green Bay losing to the Bears, which is crazy, it wouldn't have mattered anyway, but they still wanted to win this game. So Mariota came in. He actually gave us like a spark because Jaden wasn't playing very well. 6 seconds left. He throws a touchdown pass to Terry McLaurin, who set the franchise record.
Oh, nice.
Which is, I thought it was kind of low. 13
in a season?
For a receiver, 13 for our franchise. We've been a franchise for 92 years.
Well, you had a lot of rough years there, obviously from the 90s to today. And then before that, I don't think dude's caught that many touchdowns.
No, I guess
like,
not. I mean,
like the NFL record is what, 23 for Randy
right.
Moss?
I just would think that a franchise that's been around a long time, and you've had like Art Monk, you've had Santana Moss, you've had guys. It's like 13 seemed kind of low. And he needed the extra game to do it, but whatever. He has the franchise record. So we locked up the 6th seed with this one. We go 4-2 in the division, 12-5 overall. I'm happier than a pig in swill.
I mean, 12 wins. Oof.
My God, that's
what a time.
Dan Rock sent me. Shout out Dan Rock. He sent me a thing about having 12 wins or whatever. It was like the most by a quarterback that we've had or something. I was like, I've never seen 12 wins.
Right.
I've never seen 11.
Yeah.
We've talked about this. I've never even seen 11. I do have a point to make about their schedule, though. Hold on. I need another sip.
Their schedule, like in the past year?
This season.
Yeah.
So they had an easier schedule.
Yeah, their strength of schedule is a little low. I saw it in the Tankathon.
And this is what people like to throw out as jabs. Like, I think that's fantastic because it's a first-year coach.
Yeah.
Well, for us anyway. It's a rookie quarterback. It's the first full season with this GM. Let these guys get the reps.
Yeah.
Now they were in some tight games that they should have won. Some games they lost, but the last few weeks they had to pull one out of their ass.
Right.
Against maybe shittier teams. But this is good reps.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll take this.
I hate it might turn out to be true of the schedule is better. I'm sorry, they played easier opponents, but you can only play who's in front of you.
Exactly.
So, like, what do you want them to do? Like, I know. Can we get a tougher opponent in here, please?
Well,
or and you always see too at the beginning of the season, they always say you have a tough schedule, but then by the time the season ends, it usually flip flops. Like you can go from having a hard schedule to the teams do worse than expected, and yada yada yada.
It's not their fault that their schedule wasn't what it was. They went 12-5. Like, oh well, they had an easy schedule. I don't care. It's a rookie quarterback. They are finding ways to win. They're gaining confidence.
Right.
I would want an easy schedule this year.
Yes, now's the time to have it.
I will take it. And next year, we have to play the AFC West, who has 3 teams in the playoffs this season, and then the NFC North, who has 3 teams in the playoffs this season. So next year, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. And today, I am rocking my Clinton Portis jersey because the last time Washington won a playoff game was in 2005 against the Buccaneers. And who was the starting running back on that team?
Clinton Portis.
CP from the U. So I dug this out at my mother's house. This is I had this in high school.
I talked to Dennis this morning about the Redskins. And he told me a really old player who he remembers watching like the 60s. I was like, I'm like, I'll try to remember that to tell Joe I did not remember.
Oh, man.
I told you he played racquetball against Joe Theismann, right? I told you that story.
I think you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you did. Which is incredible.
What's that all about?
That's incredible. I have the Theismann jersey. The Isman jersey.
Like Joe has a Theismann jersey. But like, how do you play? He has provided the details in the past, but they elude me currently. But that's wild.
Does he have an autograph? He must have got an autograph, right?
I don't know.
How do you play racquetball?
Well, because this is like back in the day before you had like your phone, take a picture,
a
pen and notebook. I don't know.
Let me tell you something. Side rant here. I don't get jazzed about if you go to like a Comic-Con. I don't get jazzed about because you can do a photo op.
Yeah.
I don't want to take a picture with you. I don't care.
Oh yeah, no.
I just want sign my Funko Pop. That's what I want. I always think it's weird when people like, oh, I met Rikishi and they post it like,
I know.
Fucking cares.
So you like meet him.
I know you saw him for 3 seconds, dude. I got a Funko Pop.
You made a business purchase.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, we were chatting it up at the bar and we decided to take a picture. No, you paid for that.
You made a transaction.
I went to a convention last year and got a pop, a Dennis Rodman pop, which we've talked about.
Yeah.
I got it signed. That motherfucker didn't even look at me when he signed it. He was having, I didn't care.
Yeah.
He was having a whole sidebar conversation. He was drunk off his ass too.
Oh, I bet.
Signing it, I was like, I couldn't care less. I don't want to take a picture with you.
Yep.
If I talked to him, it would have been kind of cool, I guess. But I just don't get jazzed about it. Yeah, like, I don't know. That's just fucking, the picture thing is weird.
Yeah.
Just so people can post it on their Instagram.
Yeah, like what you like, whatever. Enjoy things.
Weird. It's just
but
weird.
I'm just, yes. Oh, look at all these people I met. Yeah, define meat.
Yeah, like,
It wasn't like a meet cute. It was just you made a business transaction.
And honestly, at
you
that point,
currency for that picture.
I think it's a cooler story if I told you like, oh, I ran into Daryl Green at the bar. Yeah. We were just chopping it up. He was telling me old stories. Like that's cooler than to be like, hey, look at a picture of me and Daryl Green.
One step,
which didn't happen, by the way. I threw that out there like it happened.
One step even below that barometer is the people who wait at like airports for celebrity, like wrestlers specifically, and take pictures with them as if they met them. Woof. But I've heard the Young Bucks, the tag team from the AEW, they say that they have a real signature and like an airport signature.
Wow.
So that's so funny. Yeah, it's like, yo, you get he didn't call it convention. I forget what he called it, but it was like, yeah, it's like the shoot signature or something like that.
Wow.
Which makes sense. You give him a squiggle and you're at the airport, but if it's like a real thing, you're paying for it, then you give him the real one.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, it's not that cool, I guess.
I don't think I've ever met anyone famous or cool.
Like unintentionally?
Like a real meet.
Never.
I don't think so.
I'd never.
Maybe.
Who?
I'll have to come back to it next week. I like out and about.
Never.
No.
It's also if I saw somebody out and about.
You wouldn't accost them.
No.
As
cool. It would have to be the perfect setup to where it was low key. Because also, if they were trying to be low key, but I knew it was them.
Yep.
If there weren't any people around, I wouldn't try to make a hubbub. But if it was like, I don't know, pick somebody.
Kelly Olynyk.
No, because I'd be like, fuck you, Kelly.
Do you remember when we saw him outside the Celtics game?
That's true. That's probably as close as we've ever come.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. He was walking with two ladies.
Yep.
And I remember he had a gum wrapper and he shot it out the trash can and he missed. And I was like, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we lost him. That's probably as close as it's come. But I would like whisper. If it was like, if I saw Vince Vaughn, oh, he's pretty recognizable. He's a fucking chooch. But if I saw him at a, I'd be like, hey, dude, 4 Christmases underrated.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like low key.
Yeah.
Like, hey, man.
Do like a deep cut. Like something that someone wouldn't pick up. Like one of my favorite things is it was like the lines from The Office. I try to go for the deep cuts.
Yeah.
Which itself, I think Andy made that joke in The Office one time about a deep cut or something like that. But yeah, I try to use lines that aren't as recognizable. So I find that funny.
Is it a line where he said about deep cut quotes, or because I was just watching the episode when we went rollerblading? And
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Dave Matthews Band, yes. Deep cuts only.
Yes, that's it. Yes.
Yeah, they played the most recognizable hit. It's so bad because I throw it on in the background here, and it's like season 7.
It's my stories.
Huh?
Jess used to call it my stories.
Oh,
because like people have with the soap operas and stuff.
Yeah,
I just put it on the background. Exactly, it's perfect background.
It's on in the background, but then I'm on the phone with Mel, and she's also watching it, but she's like on season 3 because I was like, "You're watching The Gay Witch Hunt, aren't you?" You've watched this too many times.
There was a point when it was on every day on Comedy Central and another channel. It might still be on. Like, there's another channel that's on all the time. Yeah. And yeah, exact same thing. You just flip back and forth. It's just hilarious. It's good stuff. It's calming. I don't know.
It is because a lot of times I don't know what to watch. I'm like, you just throw this on.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It just, and you know what's happening, but it's all good stuff. It doesn't really get too heavy. So it's good.
It's great.
Light fun.
Fantastic. All right, moving on. The Chicago Bears end their season with a win. Finally, 24-22 over the Green Bay Packers. Packers needed this game, but they also needed a Washington loss. So it didn't really matter. Caleb, 21 of 29, 148, 1 touchdown. So their miserable season has finally come to an end. I think they still have their GM. Excuse me. So they are looking for a new coach. Cliff Kingsbury is the name that's been floating around. Chicago and the Saints have formally requested interviews with Mr. Kingsbury. So we'll see what happens in the offseason.
Yep. Love got hurt in this game.
His elbow, but I didn't see it, and I don't know how bad it was.
Mm-hmm.
But they did. He did get semi-injured. Now Green Bay has to go to Philly next week, so you're gonna want Jordan Love. Although Malik has played well when he was in. He was asked to come in.
Surprisingly well. I was not expecting that, but LaFleur is a good coach.
LaFleur.
I forgot I had my playoff fantasy draft that we talked about. So I'm
8 minutes ago.
Yeah. They're just like sending me text messages. So I was trying to remember, and it was my turn. So I just picked Jaden.
Oh, perfect.
Can't go wrong.
Perfect. I mean, Tampa's defense, we'll get into it. Texans over the Titans 23-14. As we know, we don't pick the Titans around here because they've screwed us so many times in the past.
Nope.
William Levi Jeans the fourth, 9 of 17, 175, 1 touchdown. That's why they're 3-14 and have the number 1 pick. What do you think they do with this number 1 pick?
Quarterback? Will Levi Jeans sucks.
I know, but it's like I don't know what round they picked Malik. Was it first?
No. Definitely no.
No, that's right. He
like,
fell.
Yeah,
he
like
fell quite a bit.
Third.
You pick Malik though high because you had Tannehill at the time. Then you draft William Levi Jeans the fourth. You trade away Malik and William Levi Jeans. I'm sorry, dog. You better get into coaching. I ain't seeing it, brother.
Some of those like backward passes and stuff that he would do, like. This is we saw some of the videos, like some of the stupidest throwing backwards, freaking out, and just like, he was just terrible. He was terrible.
Yeah, not good. So they end up with the number 1 pick in the draft, 3-14 this year. Yikes if you're a Tennessee fan.
Yeah.
This is a matchup that we've seen twice this year, obviously, because they're in the same division. And both times I see this on the schedule, there is zero appeal to the Colts versus the Jaguars. Like, no fucking appeal whatsoever. So the Colts win 26-23. Where are the Jags in the? They got to be up there too.
They're top 5. I think they're right below us.
They're at number 5. Yeah.
Yep.
They've had an awful season. They fired their coach, Doug Peterson. So they are also another team looking for a coach. So Black Monday hit a few different teams this week.
He, yeah, I don't know what happened to Peterson. I mean, he won a Super Bowl and then was gone within 2 years. Looked like he had the Jags in the right direction. And then,
what is it, week 11 last year?
Yeah.
They never recovered.
Never recovered.
And I don't know much about the Jags, so I don't know if they've suffered from big injuries or anything. Obviously, Trevor got hurt, but other than that, I don't know if they've had a bunch of injuries.
No. And Mac obviously isn't going to lead him to the promised land. I don't know. He just fell apart. I don't know what happened week 11. I don't know what pinpointed the decline of the Jacksonville Jaguars, but they just went completely sideways.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, not even sideways, just down.
But Peterson was the first hire after Urban Meyer, right?
Yeah, and I thought it was a good hire. I thought he kind of got a bit of a rough job. What's the word I'm looking for? With the Eagles, he kind of got screwed a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. And I thought it was a good hire, and he looked like he was doing the right thing, and they were almost won. Then they came back in the playoffs against the Chargers. Like, I think it was like, this is great. And then they were 8-3, never the same.
Never the same.
Yeah. The amazing thing is that Balky kept the job as a GM again. This happened to him, the 49ers, for a couple of years. He won over Harbaugh, then Tom Sula, and who was the other terrible coach they had before they got Shanahan. He got fired and they got Shanahan, but he's still around and he's the worst.
I don't know, because now for the third time in 3 years, you're looking for another 4 years, you're looking for another coach.
Yeah. It's like another year of 10 plus losses. They just can't get out of their own way. Cannot get out of their own way.
Amen. Moving on to your game, the New England Patriots, 23-16 over the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills pretty much benched everybody
Yes.
and had Trubisky, and then at the very end they had Mike White playing.
Yep.
Joe Milton the third came in.
Yep.
JM3, 22 of 29, 241, 1 touchdown. Now, before from an outsider, I just need to share this, right? Because I know a lot of Patriots fans are very upset about this. Number one, at the halftime speech, when they interview the coaches, Mayo knew he was fired.
Yeah, you can see it in his face.
He was just like, wasn't mad, wasn't sad. He was just, so he knew.
Yep.
Number two, the players on the Patriots, only the fans and maybe some of the ownership wanted to lose this game. The players don't want to lose this game.
Oh, God, no. They're playing for their livelihoods.
Absolutely. Yep. So, like, a guy like Milton wants to showcase himself. These other guys...
Milton 1,000,000%, because that guy could potentially get something somewhere.
And he might.
Yeah.
Because they drafted him late this year. They said he looked good in training camp.
Yeah.
Initially.
Six-round pick. He's got the strongest arm in the universe.
Right.
But he had action issues, kind of like Richardson.
But these other guys, him and these other guys, they're fighting to keep a roster spot in New England or go somewhere else. So they're not trying to lose this game as much as it is for the fans that want to lose. Yeah. Like, oh, why didn't you just lose? Because these guys want to win.
Yeah. Also, I will say, I don't think the Bills wanted to win that game. McDermott was taking his headset off with 5 minutes left.
Yeah, they clearly didn't give a shit. They clearly didn't care.
But they're not. Yeah, exactly. They're playing for, and because they're playing a lot of back end of the roster guys. These guys are playing to latch on somewhere next year, join a roster for training camp. So yeah, I'll never blame a player for.
It's unfortunate because as the fan, you want to lose that game, but it's like the amount of people that were upset. It's like you got to look at it from the player perspective.
Relax.
Yeah, they are trying to win this game.
It is a little brutal because if it was just 1-2, it wouldn't have been that bad. But 1-4 is freaking brutal.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be behind either the Raiders or ahead of, the Raiders or the Giants. We got the Raiders, so maybe they'll trade up with us.
Yeah, because now that it's like if the two quarterbacks go 1-2, the Giants, assuming nobody trades, right? The Giants stay at 3. They have no quarterback right now.
Yeah.
But they could get Travis Hunter. So you could get Malik Neighbors and Travis Hunter.
And then why can't they just trade back up?
They probably could.
Like next year's first round pick,
They could. But the problem is Cleveland also needs a quarterback, and so does Tennessee.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
It's not like if you guys had 1 or 2. If you had 2, you'd still be able to trade.
So Cleveland's running it back with Deshaun?
I just heard he had a setback. They need
really?
What if you're Cleveland ownership and management? What did you see from Deshaun that warrants bringing him back? Rip the Band-Aid off and cut him.
Mm-hmm.
Do the Broncos thing with Russ. Rip the Band-Aid off, cut him. I don't know what you saw from him that you would want to bring him back.
Oh yeah, maybe someone will make the trade and take the money off your hands or something like that. I don't know.
You know what? There's always teams where you're like, they wouldn't do that. Look at what the Browns did. I mean, somebody might take a chance at Rodgers next year. Somebody might take a chance and be like, you know what? Deshaun's got more in the tank. I don't think so, but
I think he's washed. I think he's toast.
Yeah, I don't see. Again, I think he's cashing in on year 3 with the Texans. He had a fantastic season, and then he got suspended, and he has never been the same.
Nope.
Were you surprised at all about Mayo?
No, not with the way the season ended. It was just worse and worse and worse. I thought, and in the middle in this year program, mid-season, I was like, yeah, they'll give him a second year at least. But it just there was no improvement. A lot of the guys they drafted didn't show any signs of anything besides Drake. And I think our de facto GM had an interview where he said, we didn't see like the player development that we thought we would. So I'm thinking, maybe guys in the offensive line they drafted late or Polk. It definitely wasn't good. So not really surprised. He just was over his head. I feel bad for him, honestly.
I think the error wasn't firing him. The error was hiring him. And that's no knock, but it's again what you just said, in over his head. And Kraft seemed to understand that and take ownership of that. I mean, it was his decision.
Yeah, he definitely apologized. So sorry, it's my draft pick.
It's all good. I think his son Jonathan was in his ear because they released a statement within an hour of the game being over, and seeing Mayo at halftime, he knew.
It was written all over his face.
He knew it was over. But I think that Drake performing the way he has with a very limited cast and limited coaching staff, I think they're like, we need some veteran in here. Which I just heard that they completed their interview with Vrabel today.
Yeah, I have a lot of feelings about the coach possibilities.
Let's hear it.
Sure. Oh my God. So it's versus it's either the tight pants offensive guy in Ben Johnson, which would be awesome.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah. Or it's going to be Vrabel, who is the CEO coach, who can build a program. Because what I'm all hearing about the Patriots so far is that they're just in like tatters, like from the ground up. Like Belichick wore a lot of hats, and when he left, they ran out. A lot of those hats fell. And we our assistant coaches need help because and like Mayo didn't have coaches that he knew. He hadn't been around long enough. Yeah. So like all those coaches came from like Cleveland, but they weren't his guys. We interviewed like 7 offensive coordinators before we finally got to him.
Right.
AVP, I should say. But Vrabel, he's been around the block. He's been in Houston. He's been in Tennessee. He's been in the college game. So he has coaches he can bring in. I imagine Ben Johnson has people he knows. Mm-hmm. I want the person who can build around Drake. That's what I want.
Right, and that's going to be a hot shot offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Because I heard that Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator for the Lions, turned down an interview with the Patriots.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was a report, I think, today.
They had, they had Pep Hamilton and Byron Leftwich. They interviewed them. I think that was a Rooney Rule checkoff.
Yeah.
Like to check the box. Yeah. But I think it might have also been like we'll scratch your back, I'll scratch. Because like Byron Leftwich has been out of the game for 2 years. But now he's interviewed now, so now his name's been getting back in coaching circles. So maybe it's a little bit of both. Right. I don't love the Rooney Rule. I see what I know it has good intentions, but it's weird when you just kind of see guys check the box. But we totally bypassed the Rooney Rule last year when we hired Mayo immediately. So.
Right, and yeah, exactly. They said Cliff. There's other teams like the Patriots and the Jets that were rumored to have interest in Cliff. I feel like if Cliff comes back to Washington, it might be 1 year.
I think he'll go back to Washington for at least one more year. I don't think he's ready to jump back on that train. I mean, maybe. I could be totally wrong. I just want the guy who can pair with Drake and just build him to what he needs to be. I don't want Vrabel to come in, bring in an offensive coordinator, because he had like 2 or 3 offensive coordinators at Tennessee. He had LaFleur, who was good with the Packers, and he had Arthur Smith, who was not so good with the Falcons.
Yeah.
But like you bring that guy in, and you get a different offensive coordinator every year. You bring in Ben Johnson, like a McVay or a Shanahan or a McDaniel, they'll be the offensive coordinator for years.
Right.
And I don't want Drake to go on his 7th. We have 5 offensive coordinators in 5 years now. I don't want to do 6 and 6.
Yeah, I
or
mean,
even 7 and 5. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's why you got to get the coach right. But I also see, we were talking the other day. I also see the point of, okay, I get Vrabel, I get the ties, I get what he did in Tennessee. He built a competitive program, but also let's go in a different direction.
Yeah,
let's just start anew.
Yes,
stop with this past. Yeah, the ties to the dynasty.
And he's not a Belichick coach. He went to forged his own path going to Ohio State, but he still has those ties to the dynasty, and there's talks of like, he'd bring in McDaniels, and like, I don't want that.
Yeah, you guys, I think, again, with letting Bill go, I think it was a lot of fans like, all right, let's just start a new chapter here, or a whole new book here. Yeah. The dynasty's done. This is like tapping back into the dynasty for some reason.
Yeah. Don't love it. I would like to go the other way. I know what Vrabel brings. He brings stability. He could bring a whole host of coaches. He could probably, and it sounds too with Belichick leaving, we're behind the 8 ball on a lot of stuff. We're behind on like our scouting, like old architecture. I think, what was the insider's name? He was saying on NBC Sports Boston where he said people go in the building and like, where are all the people? It's like a very slim football operation. So he can bring people in, and that's what we need. I'm going to draft Terry.
Wow, get it, dude.
I think I was going to go off.
Jaden to Terry.
So the joke in this playoff draft is we just do it via message. There's no research allowed. And like the winner, you just send them $10 on Venmo. So like,
you don't get the jersey.
Yeah, you don't get the jersey. You just So now you just pick play. Like the rule is no research. You don't even know about it until it starts. You don't think about it until it starts. And then you just go.
That's an honesty.
Yes, it's just a silly.
It's the honor system for sure. I mean, if it's only for $10,
yeah, exactly.
Who cares?
And it's always just been like a fun little thing. Like I said, the year that James White scored like 5 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, no one picked him.
Right.
So it's just one of those fun things. But I apologize. I thought it'd be a fun thing during the show, and then I totally forgot about it.
It's okay. How How many people do you draft?
I think it's like just standard, the standard team, but I think we subtract a wide receiver.
Gotcha.
But now I have Jaden and Terry, so I really hope. I took Devontae Smith too because he was like one of the first people I could think of as a wide receiver. Yeah. And AJ Brown went right before that, so now I got to think of like who can I take? Because
what do you need? Another wide out?
I think I need a running back. I took Mixon. I tried to take James Cook, but he was taken. Yeah. So,
I mean, I don't know.
We'll see. Now, back to the Patriots. Excuse me. I wouldn't hate either choice. Well, excuse me. I would prefer the offensive guy.
Yes.
Pair him with Drake. Right up. Just take him under your wing.
Right.
And people were nervous about the first time coach. Mayo was like a super first time head coach. That was
he had no experience as a DC.
Yeah, but all these coaches that I'm going to rattle off, all first time head coaches with their teams. McVay, I think I said a minute ago. Mm-hmm. Kyle Shanahan, McDaniel he's had a little success. LaFleur, who's had success with Green Bay, in my opinion. Like all those guys.
All these guys were from Washington's tree at one point.
And I just heard today, that same podcast, that Joe Philbin's Dolphins had a ton of guys on the staff. Jason Campbell, Ben Johnson, another guy. Like it's very similar to that famous Redskins staff.
Yeah.
So that Shanahan tree, that's what I'm looking at. And if I think Vrabel can come in and kind of steady the ship and get us back to a little bit of respectability, maybe fill the coffers a little bit, not necessarily with money, but with brains, and get the system back up with some assistant coaches who know what they're doing. Because Belichick, we've talked about this before, 1,000,001 of his assistant coaches got hired. We eventually ran dry, and it hasn't been refilled since. So that's what we need. I will say, of the vacancies out there, New England is one of the more attractive ones because you have the quarterback. You have a lot of salary cap. This is what I said about Washington last year, other than we didn't have the quarterback at the time. But you guys have a ton of salary cap space. You have the quarterback. Yep.
And you're under the ownership. I know people are a little shaky about it lately, but you're under the ownership that brought 6 Super Bowls in 18 years.
It's we've talked about Foxborough and Patriot Place, and it's like a great place to be a coach and have a team, and they're building a new I know they scored not too great in those rankings that we've talked about with like the players, the NFLPA, but they have everything in one spot. The lockers, the stadium, obviously, the offices are there.
Well, they're building a new practice field or something, right?
They got the practice field over there, so they're doing more, which is great. So I think it's a good place to go into. You get the quarterback, you get the money, and I think the defense is better than it is. I think everything just regressed under Mayo.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, if you look at, not comparing like Chicago or anything, but if you look at New England versus the Jets or the Saints, I would rather go to New England than either of those teams.
Yes. Right now, the Saints they have like, we've talked about this every freaking episode or every year. They're just always negative $1 million in the salary cap, and they just they continue to kick the can down the road.
Right, and they continue to suck. Moving on, the NFC East wrapped up there with the Eagles over the New York Giants, 20-13. Not much to say on this game. Eagles get the number 2 seed. They are hosting the Green Bay Packers. Now, last year, the Packers had the 7th seed and knocked off the Cowgirls.
That is true. That was they blew them out too.
Eagles are 8-1 at home. Last year, Dallas was 8-0 at home. You never know. You never know. I would love, pun intended, I would love to see Philly get knocked out. But we'll see what happens here. The Giants end up with the number 3 pick in the draft. Moving on. The Buccaneers over the Saints, 27-19. The Bucs needed to win this game. I think if they won, it didn't matter. But if they lost and Atlanta won, Atlanta was in. So it's
and they were
weird
behind.
Kind of thing.
They were behind in this game for a bit.
Yeah.
And then Mike Evans did get 1,000 yards. I thought he didn't.
Yeah. He did.
Okay.
And this is who we have to play. So we started our season against Tampa.
Yep.
And now our second season is now starting against Tampa. I will say their defense hasn't looked fantastic in this matchup. It's going to be difficult, I think, it's going to hinge on Washington's defense 100%. Lattimore, I think, is going to play. He's going to play against Evans. Everybody who knows their history. So that should be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when he was with the Saints, a couple fights and shit.
Yep.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. I think Baker is shifty. He can keep plays alive with his legs.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a great run defense. So Bucky Irving could go off.
I hate Bucky Irving. I hate him so much because I had White as my running back, and he surpassed him in fantasy.
So
took his job.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to come down to Washington's defense getting some stops. So we're on the road against Tampa Bay in the playoffs.
Yep.
Finally, now granted, they benched every Tom, Dick, and Harry, but you must have at least liked to see this score, 38-0. The Chiefs got shut out.
Poor Carson Wentz.
I saw a few plays of him in, and oh my God, dog.
It's funny. Last year in the playoff run, Mahomes got hurt, and I can't remember the backup's name off the top of my head, but he led him on like a 98-yard touchdown drive in one of the playoff games. Wentz ain't doing that, so you better hope that
yeah, right.
doesn't get hurt.
Right. I don't know what you're seeing from him, but we both picked Denver in this game. They were at home. If they win, they're in. Obviously,
you gotta love to see that if you're a Broncos fan.
Oh, yeah, of
All
course.
the people get benched.
Of course. You get an easy win. That's why I guess people were complaining about, oh, well, the Chiefs bench their guy. Well, win more games, and then you can do that too.
Yeah.
So the Broncos get the last seed in the playoffs. The AFC West now has 3 teams in the playoffs. Rounding out the AFC West, the Chargers over the Raiders, 34-20, but they scored 1 point more than their typical 19. So that's a win. The Chargers, again, as the 5 seed, they still might be the quietest team. Maybe it's because we're on the East Coast. Nobody's talking about the Chargers in the playoffs.
No.
Like, nobody.
And John Harbaugh is one of those, like, Vrabel guys, like a program guy, like CEO of the team. Doesn't call the plays on offense or defense, but he just runs the ship.
Right.
Dan Quinn, does he call the plays on defense?
I don't think so, because he also brought over Joe Witt Jr.,
okay,
who was under him when he was the DC.
So he might be another, like, programish guy. Yeah, that's the two different things of... yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'll convince myself either way. Sorry, my arm was hurt again. We'll see.
It takes some getting used to with the arm, especially when you talk with your hands.
Yes, talk my hands. That's why I'm keeping like under the table.
I've had to like get used to doing this or like the. It's difficult when you talk with your hands. I get it.
Yep. All right, I need a tight end. Give me a tight end from the playoff teams.
Oh, tight end.
Kelsey's taken.
Listen, he's not going to get you a lot of points, but Zach Ertz he's got hands. He's not going to get you any yak yards, but he might get you a touchdown. And he'll get you like a few catches.
I have Jaden and Terry, so if the Commanders
all right, that's true.
if the commies lose,
oh man, you got Laporte.
He's already taken.
Oh, he's not even playing anyway.
That's right, bye week.
Oh, you do. This is like play throughout the entire playoffs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So if you draft a bunch of guys, one done, you're fucked.
So Andrews is gone, Laporta's gone, Kelsey's gone, Goddard's gone. So who's like? I can't pick the Buccaneers because.
Who's the Chargers got?
I don't know, but I'm going to say Chargers TE.
I don't even know
what's his name.
I don't know.
I pick him.
Let me see. Let's see who the tight end one is.
Oh, man.
God. I have no idea. Will Dissly?
Dissly, yep, that's it.
He had 5 catches for 42 yards last week and a touchdown, though.
Yeah.
Touchdown.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah, you knew it the whole time.
Yep. Nailed it. And I'm back up in 2 picks, so I got to try and...
All right, don't worry. This is the week 18 is kind of a throwaway. We're going to just fly through these now. Seahawks over the Rams, 30-25. Rams obviously benched a bunch of guys. It didn't matter to them. So they fall to the 4 seed.
They did lose. So the Rams dropped to the 4 seed, and the Seahawks missed the playoffs completely at 10-7, which sucks. Then they fired their offensive coordinator, which I found odd. I thought Geno had a career high in passing yards this year. I don't know why they fired him. I don't know. That confused me.
I don't know, but it must have been a first year, right? Because they have a new coach.
New coach, yeah.
All new staff.
I think it was, yeah.
So the Rams are hosting Minnesota, which that game might have to get moved because of the wildfire. So Arizona.
Oh, shit. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, potentially. So Arizona, Bronson, you might get a potential playoff game.
Yep.
Which is a non-Cardinal game.
Yeah. Interesting.
So Bronson, obviously, he's watching like everybody else.
Oh, of course.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe.
It's the first time I looked the entire episode.
No, it ain't.
Watch it back. Watch it back. The thing I noticed when I sip, I look like, oh, cheers.
Oh, there I am. That's why I just didn't want it to be distracting.
It's not. I'm doing a good job.
You're doing fantastic.
Thank you.
You're doing great.
Thank you. I do well with positive reinforcement.
Do you?
Yeah.
Is that part of your like love language?
My love language is touch.
God.
I know. I like hugs.
Like from everybody?
No, for my wife.
Well, that's the thing. So there's like the love languages of.
I was like a human.
Yeah, like with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Because like mine would be like acts of service. I've done this in a different program before. It was like acts of service, but that's from other people.
Acts of service, like
like
volunteering,
or like you helping me with something.
Oh, like
that's what I appreciate.
Right.
But like the physical touch thing, I don't really like that from other people, but I do from.
So you know,
who I'm with.
Yeah, you can like call someone and be like, "Hey, I need your help lifting something heavy." Like, okay, sure.
Yeah, or if it's just unbeknownst and you're like, you just do something to help me. It's like,
yeah.
Oh,
that's so nice.
Which I like that from my partner as well, but also the physical touch aspect from.
Oh, that's it doesn't hurt.
Don't tell her though.
Yeah. And it's funny because, I mean, Jessica might tell you differently, but there's definitely times I go to hug and she's like, love me.
You're just like, bring it in.
Please give me a nice hug.
Just love me.
I missed you. But
and she's like, get the fuck off.
Yeah,
of
pretty
me.
much. Pretty much.
Get away from me.
But it's also because I work from home full time. So, and like I see the kids, but I don't have a lot of contact with the outside world.
That's
so like when she comes home,
you're like the puppy when she comes home.
Yeah. This is the most interaction I get with another adult human outside of my wife.
Well, good thing we do this show.
Exactly. It helps. It helps keep.
Let me tell you something. I guarantee that the when she comes home from work, after sitting in traffic, the last thing she wants is to fucking hear from anybody.
Yeah. Yep. And the kids were yelling like, "Mommy, mommy!" And, you know, both of them.
Oh, yeah.
To death, and Ella's like starting to talk now, and it's just like, blah, 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 and I'm like, "Come here!"
Yeah, and hug me.
Yeah.
She's like, "I want a bath." All right, rounding out the AFC East, the New York Football Jets, 32-20 over the Dolphins. Dolphins needed to win to have a shot. Didn't matter because Denver won. Tua didn't play because of a hip injury. I had a feeling that Rodgers was going to have a decent game, go out on a high note, which
that sounds like something he would do.
What? Go out on a high note?
Yeah, like the pointless game.
I just don't know. I don't know what he has left. I don't know if they try to bring him back, but I think his 4-touchdown game got him over 500 for his career.
Yeah, that's what he does. Like he knew what that number was, and he went for it. So a couple of years ago, so we do the FanDuel fantasy I talked about last week, and we do a week 18. It's because it's just a week. You pick a different team every week,
right?
And we do a week 18. And a couple of years ago, I won the whole thing because I had the high score throughout. I think we do like top 10 scores, so that way in case you have a really bad week or you miss a week, because sometimes you forget at 12:30, whatever. So it was week 18. Everything was tidied up, and I was in a very close matchup for the overall win for like $80. And it was Aaron Rodgers was going for the MVP. And I was like, even though this game means nothing, he's going to ball out because he wants that MVP. And he did. And I won because I picked Aaron Rodgers. Hey, this sounds like
another guy who bailed you out. You don't like Darnold, you don't like Aaron Rodgers, and they both bailed you out at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to him though. 500 touchdowns in
it's nothing
career.
To sniff at.
No, not at all. I just had a feeling that he was going to have a decent game. I don't know where they go from here. The Jets, they interviewed a few guys, I think. One of them was Rex Ryan, who famously the other day came out and said that if he gets hired, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to treat this like it's a country club. I'm like, Rex, you ain't getting hired, dog. You're not getting hired.
No.
And I think at the time when he was the coach, he brought life into them. They went to a couple championship games. They beat the Patriots one of those years. That was like their big thing. But that was like 2009, 2010. 15 years later.
Oh, God, I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
what are you, Joe Gibbs?
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. if Sean Taylor didn't pass away
Mm-hmm.
unexpectedly, and I think Joe Gibbs' grandson also passed away unexpectedly. If those two things,
Joe Gibbs' grandson?
yes,
Was he a coach?
no, it was
Oh, he was a kid. It was like a little kid.
Yeah,
oh,
he was
sorry,
younger.
I'm so sorry.
Which
Okay.
actually, two of his sons passed away,
Oh, wow.
in like in their 40s. If those two tragedies don't happen, when Gibbs got hired, I go Super Bowl within 5 years. I think he did 3.
Wow.
I think he did 3 years. But those two events happening, I think it just was like too much for him. But Gibbs' second stint, we would have had another Super Bowl. just saying. He's not Joe Gibbs. So I don't know. It'll be interesting because, again, there's only 32 teams. There's only 32 jobs to be a head coach. So as unattractive as the Jets are and the Saints are that we were just talking about, somebody is going to want that because there's only 32 of those positions.
Yeah, and you think, Rex Ryan, your time has moved on. I was just thinking of that thing you sent me with the little the blurb that you just mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
There's only 32 guys. I mean, Brian Leftwich has a better chance of getting a job than he does. So,
well, he went to Buffalo, right? And then that was it, right? He never.
yeah, he's never been back. I think he has a nice cushy job in ESPN now. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But I think the Jets, like the organization, is a mess. But it is New York. It's still New York.
Jersey.
Which, sure,
It's New Jersey.
Metropolitan, the metro. You take the train. The train stop. I don't know, but like I feel like it's still a good place to be. I don't know.
The right guy could come in there and turn this around.
And you could become legendary. Like if you really want to. So the thing
A
I
nice
always said,
challenge.
the thing I always said about LeBron James when he went to Miami is like, oh, you win a championship or two in Miami or whatever. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, your
But
super
if
team.
you win one in Cleveland though, and you're just a legend. And you went back and did it. Not quite the same. in my
Not the
opinion.
same, but that was still. I think the way he won that championship, being down 3-1,
Yeah.
was pretty.
Yeah.
Epic, though. I'll give
So
it
so one championship for the New York Jets would surpass 3 championships for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe not quite, but you know what I'm getting at.
But they're also they're sitting. Excuse me. They're sitting at number 7 in the draft.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's a strong quarterback class.
Yep.
They're probably not going to draft somebody unless they draft somebody in the later round. I don't know if you bring Rodgers back, but also you're going to bring in a new coach, all new staff. With his personality and some of the things that have gone on, I don't know if you want to risk that whole thing.
Yep.
But if he wants to play football next year, somebody will take him.
Yes, I agree. Even if it's a stopgap. Because there's teams now who are going to play next year like the Raiders did and the Saints did and who else am I thinking of? But there's like no quarterback.
Well,
So they'll grab someone.
what if you're the Giants at 3?
Yeah,
and
you
you
went-
get
yeah.
Travis Hunter and you have Malik, who I think Malik set some sort of franchise record.
Yeah, if I was redrafting, I would take Neighbors over Marvin Harrison.
So you look at it for a team that might miss out on a quarterback unless they trade up and they can get a guy like Hunter and they put him at wideout.
Yeah.
Why not? Then you could get Rodgers could go from Jersey to Jersey, same stadium.
Yep.
And then you got him throwing to Travis Hunter or Malik. Dude, that might be that.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Oh, hello.
Joe DiOrio's hot take is Aaron Rodgers is going to go. He's going to play in the same stadium next year, but for the Giants, he's going to be able to throw to Travis Hunter and Malik Neighbors.
Nice.
Pull
I like
one
that
out
hot
of
take.
my
Write it down. Write it down.
Write it down. All of you, write it down. All right. NFC West, the Cardinals over the 49ers, 47-24. My boy Dobbs, 29 of 43, 326, 2 touchdowns. So there's a couple things. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was going to say I didn't realize Purdy didn't play.
Me
Makes
neither.
sense.
No, until I saw the stat line, my boy Dobbs, but I didn't notice that either.
It's got to be worse to have high expectations and shit out a season like that, right? Than to have low expectations and be lower. Kind of like the Patriots were.
I think, again, injuries just caught up with this team, which I think they just fired their defensive coordinator.
Oh, did they? Oh, I didn't realize that.
So they're on another, because after the Super Bowl, they fired their defensive coordinator.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And then they just had another guy, I think they just fired him. So I don't really know. But also, Purdy's contract is up.
Yep.
So now they're talking about that. What do? Do you pay the guy?
I pay him. I don't pay him like top 3 money.
Right.
Maybe 5 to 10. But I'm also not a GM.
I think you have to from what he's done.
It's just so hard to find the quarterback. It's just so hard.
And you've won with him.
Yeah.
You've been successful.
I do think if Kyle Shanahan finds the right guy, he could win with quite a few guys because they almost won with Jimmy G.
That's fair. But, a younger guy, I think if you get healthy next year, I think this 6-11 was straight injuries for the Niners.
Yeah.
This season. So.
Yep.
The
Agreed.
Sunday night showdown for the number 1 seed and the division. The Detroit Lions over the Minnesota Vikings, 31-9. Sorry, but I'm going to say it. They are who we thought they were. Because in a game that you needed to win to get a break, the division and the number 1 seed, you laid a fucking egg.
Yep. And friend of the show, Sam Darnold, did not play well in this game.
The guy bails you out and you still shit on him.
I'm trying to be respectful now. I'm not trying to call him dumbled.
Just did.
That was more like quotations. But he missed wide open Jefferson in the end zone like 2 plays in a row. But that's why Justin Jefferson is amazing. He's so good.
Yes.
And that's why in those plays, 2 in a row, he's wide open. He burns the defender and he just misses him. Because that's what Darnold does. And it was 10-6 at the half. That's what I watched it to, and then I went to bed. And then I woke up to the 31-9. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it was. I think I watched up until a certain point. It was not nearly that close, and then I woke up. Same thing, 31-9. Like, holy shit. I would say that the Lions are the true number 1 in the NFC, and I think I would put Philly, a healthy Philly, as the strong number 2.
Yep.
So I think it makes sense. Minnesota, them going on the road and playing the Rams, I don't know.
The impressive thing about this game is that the Lions won it with like their defense, which has been really bad.
Yeah.
Well, not bad, but they've been injured. They've given up some points.
They're the team that needed to win because they needed to get somewhat healthy.
Yep.
So the Lions take it, and they have a bye. And that was your week that was, and really the regular season that was.
I know, the end of, season number 2, regular season number 2 in the books for the MOJO show.
In the books. In the books.
Will that one catch it too?
If we say it at the exact same time.
Really?
Ready? 1, 2, 3. In the books.
That's impressive. That's cool. That's really cool. Wow, that's crazy. Another season done. To celebrate one of the worst seasons in franchise history, I went and bought a new hat.
Hey, supporting the team.
Yep. BJ's. It was really cheap.
I bet it was.
I really like the circle. So a lot of the hats that the coaches have of the circle, not this specific hat, but I really like it. I was commenting all season long how much I enjoyed it. And as we're at BJ's, Jessica was like, look at this hat. It's got the circle you like. I was like, I do like that. So I got it. Cool. I also got a Celtics hat, which I'll wear soon.
There you go.
And they have like legit team apparel there. I bought a shirt too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I
Cheap.
haven't been to
Good
BJ's
deals.
in a while. Yeah. They wouldn't have my team anyway. But
No, there's no Redskins. I looked.
yeah, I get it.
Do
you have a hot take? A first hot take for the...
I do. That was my reaction to the hot take.
Let us hear it.
Jessica's hot take is that the Washington Commanders are going to win by 10.
Wow! Whoa! Whoa!
That's what. That was my gasp. Was my
boom?
Was my reaction to that.
I've seen a lot of conflicting reports from the pundits, either saying that Washington is the better team in this matchup, or they don't have a shot against Tampa because Tampa is more seasoned, Baker's more seasoned, Evans is going to get the best of Lattimore, whatever. So it's like
dumb,
very divided.
Very
divided. Yeah.
Yep. I feel like the Buccaneers are too. I mean, it depends which one shows up because they're very wishy-washy.
They are. They had a very up and down season. I mean, the first game of the season when they played us, Jaden has said that he was a little nervous in that game. His very first game.
Yeah.
It was the only game that he was nervous for. And you see the progression since week one.
And you are a completely different team by the end of the season than you were at week one, for sure. Especially with a rookie head coach, but Coach's his first game was a team. Yada 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 yada. Yeah.
Yep.
So
we shall see.
Yep.
I'm gonna go into L Fantasy Corner.
Yeah. So this is interesting. So we did a little bit of. Whoa.
Was that the fantasy corner?
That was it. That sounds future, right? Wait, is that the fantasy?
I think it is. The pixels are different. See, because now the board's down there. We changed the angles, and I forgot what the buttons were yet again. Sorry. Sorry.
So last Monday we recorded, and we talked about the Fantasy Football World Championship Finals in Cheese's league, the XFL.
Yes.
The X, does it stand for extreme? I don't know.
I think it was supposed to be Christmas.
I get it.
Yep.
And it was essentially the Jameson Williams versus Debo. That was what it came down to.
Yeah.
And if you know what happened in that game, you know who won that game. And, I'll let you kind of, seems like you have something to share here.
I have some
An executive reading.
I have some Cheese notes who let me see where the heck it is. Okay. Cheese, who could not make it to the program this week. He's put in the league notes. Congratulations to Bree on winning the 2024 XFL Fantasy Championship. Out of the 14 teams we had this year in our fantasy league, that's an incredible accomplishment. And I think he meant always there. Always a strong player. She was always competitive year in, year out. I'd like to personally thank her for her dedication throughout the years and help welcome her first championship. Well, that's it. Another fantasy year over, or maybe a new one has just begun. Wild, man. Just a reminder, for next year to look out for our newly improved dynamic scoring. Wide receiver and tight end positions will be adjusted for even more points. So many football memories this year, and I can't wait to be in the draft room with all of you very soon. Thank you for making my Sundays just a little bit better. So some say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not. Enjoy the off season, everyone. Again, another note for everybody who is in the XFL league. We're going back to 12 teams. So, and the kicker points are going to go through the roof next year.
Wait, through the roof?
Oh, they're going up. But also, I think the biggest thing in that league was the wide receiver and the tight end weren't keeping up with the running backs.
Yes.
So they're getting bumped up.
Yep.
This is the steroid league. It's going to be like 500 to like 472.
I didn't know that I knew that there was going to be some alignment with the wide receiver. I'm sorry. Yeah, wide receivers and the running backs, like you said. I did not realize that the kickers were also getting a juice
They're getting juiced again? Even more. Your kicker could get you 5 points or it can get you 105. You just never know.
Now, that is what screwed Laura in the finals is Aubrey, who went from over 100 points the week before, scored 3 against you guys. If he had another field goal, she probably would have wound up winning. So that's a heartbreaker. Sorry,
she
Laura.
was the number 1 seed all season long, so very sad for the Jimmy Changas, but great performance throughout the year, and congrats to Bree on winning the championship.
Yep. Congrats.
And we're moving on.
We are. Let's see. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I was right.
Yeah.
We had it the whole time.
We knew. The whole time.
We knew.
Never doubted it. Let's see here. Now, it's a little bit different now because it's playoff time, so I got to make sure I'm in the wild card weekend.
Playoffs.
One thing I noticed is they have not been framing it as the super wild card weekend. That was a thing that came in.
I know.
When they added the 7 seed, they started calling it super wild card weekend.
Right, because there's an additional game on Monday.
Right.
We are calling this our super wild card weekend preview, though.
Okay. When you said that, we'd be having that. I was like, oh, I know. Because I looked. Did not see it.
That's weird.
Maybe because it's, I don't know. It's super. It's
definitely. It's like too lame.
Probably. It's pretty lame.
I think it's good, though.
For us, though, it's great.
Yeah. Super wild card weekend preview.
I love it.
On the Mo and Joe show. MOJO show.
Correct. MOJO show.
MOJO show.
MOJO show. Where am I? Alrighty. Oh, yeah. Okay. Wild card weekend. Saturday, January 11th, 4:30 p.m. on CBS and Paramount Plus. We have the 11-6 Chargers traveling to the 10-7 Texans. The Chargers are 3-point favorites.
Oh, home on the range.
I know who I'm taking.
Let me see. Also, for the regular season, I finished week 18 at 10-6, and overall, I was 173 and 100.
Yeah, I finished 9-7. Overall, I was 177 and 96.
Excellent. I was trying like hell to keep it under 100 losses. I just couldn't do it. I'm going to go with the Chargers here. I think the Texans are a little bit too banged up. They haven't been playing fantastic this season. And I think the Chargers are a little bit underrated.
I'm taking the Chargers, 100%. Texans haven't really shown it to me. Chargers are favored in this game. I'm trying to look real quick. Who am I going to take? I know who I'm taking. Love it. Love it. Love it. I love it.
You mean
my money pick.
Your money pick.
Sorry, I had to do a little scroll action there.
Okay.
All right.
Got you.
And then 8 o'clock Saturday night, Prime Video only. We have the 10-7 Steelers traveling to the 12-5 Ravens. Ravens are 9.5-point favorites. Steelers have lost 4 in a row. They will now lose 5 in a row to end the season.
That's really just because you reminded me of Mo's money pick that I'm going to pick my Joker pick, which is I agree with you. The Steelers are. I think it's going to be a bludgeoning. I think the Ravens are going to make a statement win. I don't see anything from the Steelers, although I know it's competitive. They're in the same division. Yep. I think the Ravens are flying high, and I think they're going to kill them in this one. Not even close.
I agree. Sunday, January 12th, 2025, 1 o'clock p.m. CBS and Paramount, plus 10-7 Broncos traveling to the 13-4. Actually, the Ravens are also my Super Bowl pick, so I have to pick them.
Right.
13-4 Bills. Bills are 8-point favorites. Excuse me. Bills.
Listen, I think it's fantastic that another rookie quarterback made the playoffs. Good for Denver because they were in a bit of a pickle with Russ. They go 10-7. I just think Buffalo is just too much. They're too much to handle. I think that they are. It's kind of boring, but they're the most consistent team other than the Chiefs in the playoffs. Now, if some of these matchups go, if any of these three matchups happen, the Ravens, Bills, and Chiefs, that is going to be primo to watch.
Yep.
But I will take the Bills in this game.
Like it.
They're also 8-0 at home. Sorry.
That's a good point. They missed a game. Well, not missed a game, but uneven record, which I hate. Ugh, that's so stupid. You played more games on the road than at home.
Wait for the new collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah. 4:30 on Fox. We have the 11-6 Packers traveling to the 14-3 Eagles. Eagles are 4.5-point favorites. As much as I would love the Packers, I just don't think it's going to happen.
I don't either because unlike the Dallas Cowgirls, who were undefeated at home, they were smoke and mirrors anyway. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But Philly is a very difficult place to play. They're 8-1 at home. I would absolutely love if the Packers did do to the Eagles what they did last year to the Cowboys, but I don't foresee it happening. So I'm going to pick the Eagles on this one.
Yep. Why do I have this open? Go away. It's actually a really fun weekend between college football playoffs and the NFL playoffs. Things are really popping off.
What's the Notre Dame game at right now?
Penn State was up 10-0 last I saw, and I peeked over.
I think Notre Dame was favored in this game, right?
Oh, really? All the lower seed teams won in the college football playoffs.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, then 8 o'clock, Sunday Night Football, prime time, NBC, Peacock, the 12-5 for the first time in ever. Washington Commanders traveling to the 10-7 Buccaneers with a worse record traveling. How do you feel about that?
It makes no difference to me. One of my pet peeves every year is that because somebody has a better record, they have to travel. That's the way the league is. That's why you have conferences and divisions. We hosted a playoff game at 7-9 in 2020.
That's true. It all comes back around.
It's like, who cares? who cares? It's like the Bengals are mad they missed the playoffs. Well, you went 0-3. And I'm sorry that the Minnesota Vikings at 14-3 have to travel to the Rams. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. Mm-hmm. I don't know why people do that thing where it's like, oh, well, they shouldn't be traveling. They have a better record. Yeah, well, not in their division. So grow up. I'm taking Washington. The revenge game. Give me my beloved Washington.
So, in your opinion, the Redskins were 17-0 this season. I'm sorry, 18-0.
Listen, I was only wrong 5 times. That's pretty good. That's a great percentage. What's that percent? My win percentage is what their win percentage is, okay? What is it? It's pretty fucking high. Listen, especially now, you think I'm going to pick against them now?
Listen, of course not. Of course not.
No way.
Now, they are my, and I'm going to ask you for another wide receiver on the Redskins because I have Terry.
Olamide Zaccheaus.
Ugh. That's a name. I couldn't even write that down if I tried.
He's been pretty consistent. Noah Brown's out. Diami, he played last week, but Diami was out 2 weeks ago. I'm telling you, he might be a sleeper because he does a lot of the bubble screen type shit, and he takes pressure off of. He's the number 2 over Diami Brown, I think, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I would take Olamide Zaccheaus.
I just wish I could spell that. It'll probably come back around.
Zaccheaus I can't spell. Olamide I can spell.
That's impressive. Okay, so I haven't made my pick yet. Now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 3-point favorites.
Listen, I told.
Not only are the Washington Redskins going to cover that spread, they're going to win this football game.
Ooh.
Lock it in.
Lock and loaded,
Jess's
baby.
Hot take, 18-0. They're winning outright.
Yes.
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 Woohoo!
Yes.
I like it. I also said in the group chat with you and Bronson that now that the Patriots are out, well, they were out, but now that the season's over for you guys, you guys all now have to adopt Washington as your team. I also said that on a work call today to everybody. So I am letting it be known.
That's great.
And I am, as of Sunday, which is unfortunate because she's not gonna be here to watch the game.
Yep.
But I am invoking this week, which really I'm risking it because if they make the Super Bowl, her wearing a Redskins jersey during the Super Bowl would be fantastic. But I'm invoking my winnings from the bet that I had with Mel. So from Sunday to Saturday, so which is why I had to go to my mother's house. I had more jerseys. So this is going to be one of the ones she wears. There's also another Clinton Portis one. I think it's my sister, so she can wear that one. I got Theismann. I got me. I got LaRon Landry. Throwback, Area 51 for you Redskins fans. Sean Taylor and LaRon Landry, Area 51.
Yep.
So I have that one too. I have Santana Moss. So I'm invoking that as of Sunday.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It would be sweet if it was like the Super Bowl. And then I could start it then.
Are you going to take a picture? You're going to hang around the house? Multiple pictures?
Yeah. Well, the good thing is she has 2 dentist appointments. So she has to be out in public at least twice this week. Okay. Because she's like, I'm going to do it on a week where I have nothing to do. I'm just going to stay home and not have to do it.
Yeah. You should have her wear it to the beach in the summer.
That's true. That would be great.
That would be amazing. Might get a weird sunburn, but
it's like a 2 and a 6.
It's one of the good. It's like the people wear like the shawls, like the big ones, the big covers.
Right.
It's one of those.
I like it. I'm invoking it this week, so she will have to suffer from Sunday to Saturday.
I'm excited it's Sunday Night Football because the kids will be in bed, so I'll be able to sit back and actually watch and enjoy.
Right.
And I'll be rapid fire texting you. I won't do that. I'm just kidding.
You can. You can text me. Sometimes I don't.
I don't want people texting me.
I just won't answer. I don't get notifications on my phone.
That's good.
So I have to go to my messages. I don't even get push notifications. So.
Wow.
I shut them all off.
I like that.
Yeah.
I do for a lot of apps too. For a ton of them, except for text messages, but like Jessica's is a specific noise, so like I know when it's her.
What is it?
It's Braden saying "yep" when he was like a baby. We used to say "yep."
Yeah.
I was like "yep, yep, yep." That's my alarm too. Yep, yep, yep. So I know that's her. But I have everything else. That's why I missed them all texting me because I have them all turned off.
Right.
So I just happened to see it because it was a text message, and I was like, "Oh shit, I totally forgot about that." I only have 3 players left to pick. It's all the flex bumps. I'm just like looking. I'm like scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
Something about notifications.
Oh, we're gonna be able to watch Sunday Night Football. So
Yes.
it'd be nice. Just sit back and watch, not have children running all over the place.
Amen.
Yep. So yeah, the Commanders are gonna cover, and looking forward to their victory and for them to bring me to the promised land in the fantasy playoffs.
They have not won a playoff game in 20 years.
You know, they never won 12 games. Well, not never, but you know what I mean. In a long time. So things are going to change. Lions changed last year.
Listen.
Now it's your turn.
Amen.
Then Monday Night Football. 8 p.m. ESPN, ABC, ESPN. We have the 14-3 Vikings traveling to the 10-7 Rams. The Vikings are 2.5-point favorites. I am taking the Rams.
You bastard! We have the same picks. I was like, I'm gonna get him on this one.
I have to. I have to.
It's fitting for you. I just after what they did last week when they didn't need to win, but also like how sweet is a number 1 seed to get yourself a bye, get a little bit healthy.
Yep.
Granted, the Rams now they benched everybody, so they kind of did get a break. It'll be interesting because, again, with the Chiefs, they benched everybody. They're basically getting 2.5 weeks off because they haven't played since Christmas.
Yes.
So that's going to be interesting when they actually do play.
Don't love it. I'll be curious to see what happens, but that's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time. I mean, if anybody can do it, it's them, but you're going to see if they can't do it, then nobody can do it.
That's so long. 2.5.
That's a long time. But the Rams basically, because they benched everybody and they didn't give a shit about having the number 3 seed.
Yep.
It really doesn't matter. So they got their rest. So I am also taking the Rams here. Interesting.
I don't, and I think that Lions game showed it with the Vikings. Like you just said, they were who we thought they were. So I think they are.
It'll be interesting. We'll see.
# not great. Sorry, dumb old baby.
You just said you wouldn't do it, and you did it twice.
You big dumb idiot.
You just did it twice. Anyway, well, that was our regular season wrap up and our Super Wild Card Weekend preview.
Yeah.
Like, comment,
share, subscribe.
We have a new setup now. Well, not really. It's an old setup, but I think
it works. I don't really notice that you're that far away. We just did it with Bronson, so
that's true. But we did change a couple things. Now we got some new angles here.
I know.
Also some new colors.
I never looked. I didn't look once.
Also, nobody got it right. Nobody knew what the change was.
Oh no.
I'm not going to even say it.
No. They can still answer.
Yep. But also, we did change the lights. I like the blue.
Oh yeah.
Did you? You didn't even notice?
Yeah, you said at the beginning.
Oh, all right. I was gonna say.
Yeah. I like it. It matches our scheme, our schematic.
It does. It's like like a blue and a white matches our logo. Although the walls are black. Anyway, we will be back again next Thursday. We're back on our weekly.
Oh yeah, we're back on our normal Thursday schedule. The thing, and now that these episodes will be interesting going forward because they're going to get obviously shorter.
Yes.
Well, just by the length of the games being played, or the amount of games, excuse me. So we'll try to fill in where we can. But I think you won't be looking at like an hour and a half, 2 hours usually with these.
No, honestly, it gives us more time to just rant, so it might be 3 hours.
Maybe, yeah. If Sam yeah, there's gonna be a lot to say on my side, probably in the like I'm going to guess by this time next week, this isn't a hot take, I think it's just they'll have a head coach by this time. So I'll probably have something to say there.
Sure.
Because they said they want to go through like a full process.
But they want to be fast about it.
Yeah. So it's like, how can you be fast? Because Ben Johnson, he can only interview now because they're on the bye week.
Right.
So you better get in there while the getting's good. But that's why I'm concerned that Vrabel could have a job there. He could have the job tomorrow. I think they're going to go with Vrabel, as my gut tells me, because I think Kraft likes familiarity, which I don't love. But I think that's where they're going towards.
It'll be interesting. He interviewed today. So, by this time next week.
By this time tomorrow, you can be coach.
you might have a new coach by next week. So, anyway, that is our wrap-up for this episode.
Yeah, regular season. What a time. Look at us.
Look at us. Who would have thought?
Not me.
Not me. Here we go.
Yeah. Another regular season in the books. It's kind of hard to believe, but.
Well, we're still going. We're not fucking leaving.
I know, we're not
fucking leaving.
We're not leaving. We'll be back. It's the first time I looked at the entire episode.
We will be back. That arm is... now it's in your view, too. All right. Anyway.
That's not so bad. You can't even see it.
Like, comment, share. Like, comment, share. Like, comment, share. All right. I'll do it, and then you do it. Directly into the camera. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the MOJO Show.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the You have to say it too, so the camera looks at
the
it. Right?
MOJO Show.
That was
okay.
Weird.
That was weird. Anyway, see you guys next week.
Bye.